All right, so when it comes time to doing well for the IELTS exam, it's really, really important to understand that there are different types of question types. And these are the different types of questions that you're going to have to learn how to do very well in order to have a high rate of success on the IELTS exam. Okay? So let's take a look at it, and we'll have a good idea of what we need to do. For a lot of students, I don't think they realize that there's a specific strategy that you have to use to be able to do well for the reading comprehension for the IELTS. And so, and I'm going to kind of go over that with you. But first, let's look at the question types. Right? So, a couple of special notes in terms of question types. Normally, certain questions appear in particular reading passages. This is because in general, reading comprehension gets more difficult as you're going through the reading passages. Most of the time, reading passage number 3 is going to be much more difficult than reading passage number 1. All right? And certain types of questions are viewed as more difficult than others. So some question types you're going to see more in reading passage number 3 than you would in reading passage number 1. For example, it's very rare that you will see a summary question in reading passage number 1. Normally, a summary question is going to be found in reading passage 2 or reading passage 3. So, like I said, that's most of the time, and that's in general. All right, and so also your matching question is most of the time found in reading passage 2, very rarely in reading passage number 1. Your yes, no, not given question can be found everywhere. Your yes, no, not given question is the most popular question. They love that question on the IELTS exam. And so you really want to make sure you understand how to do that yes, no, not given question. Because I would say probably almost 20% of your questions are going to be from yes, no, not given. So you got to make sure you understand how to do those types of questions. All right, so we have our fill in the blank question. Your fill in the blank question goes in order, and it typically looks something like this. You're most likely going to see a fill in the blank question somewhere. You're probably going to have it in one of the reading passages. Sometimes you might have it in 2 different reading passages. So you got to learn how to do the fill in the blank question, which goes in order, which is really good to know. Next, our short answer question goes in order. All right. Basically, with this type of question, you have a question like 14 where it says, what do researchers often take from the bodies of whales? You have to be able to look at what are the keywords in that question. Keywords, of course, are your nouns, researchers, bodies, and whales. You have to then go and scan and locate that sentence that has that specific information, and then read that sentence, and you'll have your answer that you have to write down. Really important that you look at the directions, no more than 2 words, okay? But the short answer question goes in order, which means after number 14, you'll find number 15. Or if you know where 14 is or you know where 16 is, then you know 15 is in between. So that's important to know. True, false, not given question. Okay, your true, false, not given question. Really, really important question to know how to do. Later on, I'm going to go into into specifics and really teach you how to do that yes, no, not given question, because a lot of students are very confused with how to do this question. All right, but this question goes in order, and that's also very important to know. Is it true, false, not given, or sometimes I might say yes, no, not given. The question goes in order, and I'm going to teach you how to do that question. Multiple choice questions go in order. Go in order, go in order, go in order. Okay? And so, sometimes for a multiple choice question, once you find the sentence where the question is coming from in the passage, sometimes you have to read 2 sentences to be able to get your answer for your multiple choice question. And then we have our chart question. Your chart question goes in order most of the time. I haven't seen it where it does not go in order. this is a flow chart here we're looking at, and we can tell because of the arrows pointing down or arrows pointing sideways that this question is going to go in order. All right, so those are our IELTS question types, and it's really important that you know them. So we have some more to look at. This is just the IELTS question types part 1. So let's move on and take a look at IELTS question types part 2. Okay, thanks a lot, and I'll talk to you soon.